What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who am I with? As always, Joseph Huggins, aka Old Man Huggie. Talk shit or get off the pod. Episode 59. You motherfuckers.
What's up, bro? Earlier, whenever I was getting this shit set up, I was jamming out because I have like all these new funky beats and shit, and totally like switched over, and I was like trying to figure shit out, and it swapped over to me, like staring almost like directly into the camera. It was pretty epic, but luckily you were away, so you didn't see that.
I saw some of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw some of it, but everybody saw it, so I was just like sitting here trying to figure shit out, dicking around, and it swapped over. But 59, bro, I'm super pumped, dude. This is crazy. We're getting so close to doing this for a year straight. You realize that, right? We're creeping super close. Like,
yeah, I mean the podcast's been around for over a year, but with just you and I, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, no, and it's been pretty much every week or sometimes twice a week if we had to miss the next one or made up for an episode. So shout out us, but yeah, well, nah, man, shout out us. Like, fuck yeah, we gotta give ourselves prop every once in a while. So I'm gonna do the cheers. Shout out us, 59. Here we are. Let's get into it.
Shout out Romania. Just started listening to the pod.
Yeah, bro, that's tight. Shout out Romania for jumping in in their bag, dude. Let's go.
This one time when we were in high school, I took like 7 grams of mushrooms and went to Samlin's house.
Yeah.
And
as one would do on mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the audience, like, this guy had like 2 lakes in his backyard, like
a baseball field. He had a baseball field too that we would have practice on.
So out of nowhere, like right as like, nobody should ever take 7 grams of mushrooms. Let me just throw that out there. That's a lot, especially for like a 16, 17-year-old. But it just started. Just the weather changed like right as I was like about to peak, and it just started pouring rain. And then the homies got me out of there, took me to dropped me off at my house, and I put on CNN, and they had a documentary about this like gang of like 7-year-olds that were in Romania that were like orphans, and they like all hung out together, and they did like circus tricks, but then also were like getting like sexually trafficked. And I was like on mushrooms by myself in like my parents' game room, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, that sounds like not a good time. Like, I think one time I was with Rolls Royce, and we ate a bunch of mushrooms, and we were doing something. I think we were at this girl I was dating's house at the time, and we ate the mushrooms there. And we ended up watching this whole thing, a whole documentary about elephants when they like lose their minds and go crazy and like attack people, and it was like tripping us out. And the next thing you know, Rolls is freaking out. We need to take him back to his house. So then I'm trying to drive and navigate through the SLC on some shrooms.
See, Rolls Royce is the like at the top of the list of people I've seen have a bad trip on mushrooms. I don't know why he's continuing to do it.
Well, this was a while ago, but somebody else told me that too, man. They were like, yeah, man, he does that all the time. I was like, how did nobody tell me that was the case? You got to warn a brother, man. If someone's going to be not having a good time, I want to know ahead of time.
Well, if I had a bad trip like I saw him have, like, I would never have done him ever again. Like, he was in like a hellhole.
Okay, so there's one time, I don't know if I told this, but I can't remember what I was doing, but I got them from Rolls Royce, and I was off work, and I think this is when I was sleeping on like one of our mutual friends like floor. So this was like right after really close to me being kicked out, and I found a bunch of mushrooms. I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat these mushrooms because it was my day off, and I ate them at Hull's house, and there was a bunch of other people there, but I was the only one who ate them, and I like freaked myself out and ended up driving around. I ended up got lost in Tiburon and lost all in those neighborhoods back there for like 3 hours before I made it back to like safety. I tried to go buy cigarettes, and the guy started screaming at me, and I had no idea, for no reason. I'm sure I sounded absolutely ridiculous when I asked for a pack of cigarettes, but man, that was like such a bad time. There's a few times where I've had some bad trips for sure. That was a bad one.
Not me. Like I saw like what a bad trip could look like, but I never went down the rabbit hole. And that was once. And then So even that, like almost having a bad trip, made me not want to take them for like years until I started it again. But all right, y'all. Episode 59. What'd you name it, Joseph?
I just named it Greg Abbott still sucks because he's a fucking piece of shit. But because I didn't, I was also thought like maybe Elon's AI army or Elon's gonna take over the world. There's so many things we could have named it. So I just like rolled with something that like rolls off the tongue nice. I didn't want to necessarily go Hot Wheels and make fun of him for that. I feel like that's like a low blow. That's
Well, I mean, it could only be a low blow because he's sitting down at all times.
Yeah, I'm not really a stand-up guy if I'm taking shots like that. So
no, he's definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, he's not. I'm saying I'm not. I'm trying to be a stand-up man.
Well, he can't stand up. So, I actually watched his entire debate with Beto O'Rourke at my. I was hanging out with my dad on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I put it. It was like on YouTube recommended, and I like was watching like the first 40 minutes of it. My dad was like, "Give me the controller," and I'm like, "Oh, you don't want to watch this?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay." And then he like fell asleep like 10 minutes later, and I just put it back on.
Yeah, I mean, some people don't like to watch it. It's kind of cringe, though. There's some, I don't know. Greg Abbott's such a dick. And, I mean, we'll get into it. I have a couple clips we're going to play. But Greg Abbott's such an asshole, man.
That's the governor of Texas.
Yeah, governor of Texas. But, I mean, he's the OG of, like, busing people out of state. And being like, all right, go. We're sending you to Kamala Harris's house. We're sending you to Bon Jovi's house. I don't know if they did that, but I feel like they'd attack Bon Jovi if they could.
Well, he's from Jersey, so I don't know.
Hey, man, they sent people to Martha's Vineyard. That's pretty far.
That's true.
That's
true,
pretty
but,
far, but that's that DeSantis money.
Yeah, well, DeSantis got him from, he trafficked them from Greg Abbott from Texas.
Yeah, they're like, yeah. Well, it's back to our previous episode, two traffickers, one cup. It's but I mean, I think with that one we talked about Matt Gaetz. And but so that'd be three traffickers, one cup. That's a whole new realm. That's a totally different show that would break the mold, dude. I don't know if the world could handle that.
Well, they're gonna have to deal with it. All right, y'all. As we do on Talk Shit to Get Off the Pod, we start with therapy questions. Joseph.
Yes.
Therapy question numero uno. That's the language they speak in Romania, right?
Yes.
Is it possible to cry underwater?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
How?
Well, I mean, or there'd be a different type of cry, I assume. It'd have to be some underwater cry. Like, right? But you could still, like, go through, like, the physical convulsion of crying. Because, people, like, shake or whatever, I guess. I mean, you're not going to be, like, breathing, gasping for air. Like, you'll drown. So, I mean...
I think you would drown.
So people who cry, that's like super deep. So maybe they're like crying so hard and they fall off the boat, and that's like how people drown sometimes. We don't even realize it. They're crying when they get into the water.
It's the saddest shit I've ever heard.
It's possible. That's terrible.
When I first came up with the question, I was thinking, why? Because you're underwater and crying means like tears.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then I'm like, no, actually, like you like do convulse if you're really crying, and then you're gonna breathe in like water, and then you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I guess you could for a second.
Yeah. I mean, because at some point you would like breathe in water. Anything that, yeah. Like you can't like be, run or swimming around opening your mouth, taking in big gulps of water. No. This isn't Splash, dog.
This ain't the Little Mermaid with the Black Little Mermaid.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Because we all know mermaids are white.
Well, mermaids would be like translucent. What are you talking about? A deep sea fish person would be like completely out there. People are like, I can't believe that they put a black girl as Ariel. That's not right. She's a ginger. Everybody knows it. Like with those people, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like it's like a fish.
No, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible.
Oh, it's in the Bible.
Yeah, the mermaids are ginger.
The Book of Enoch. Whenever they swam up, ancient astronaut theorists believe. Like, get the fuck out of here with that ancient alien shit. I mean, that'd be tight. There was, that whole hoax thing on Animal Planet that was about mermaids that people thought was real, and they were like, we got video footage of mermaids. And people thought it was real. I think Twitter blew up about it, and then they didn't realize that it was like, there was a disclaimer in the beginning that's like, this shit's not real.
Oh yeah, I
Do you
remember
remember that
that.
shit? And then
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh my god, did you see that? There's fucking mermaids, bro. Part 3's tonight." I was like, "All right, well, I gotta watch it, but come on, not
Like we
really."
should like if mermaids do exist, we should take them out, right? Like as humans.
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like that's really the realm. We don't really fuck with the oceans like that. I don't fuck with the oceans like.
We don't fuck with oceans.
I don't fuck with the oceans like that. If they
Ask
were
the
like, look,
whales. Ask whales and tuna.
if they came to us and they were like, look, leave us alone. We want to do our own thing. We're gonna be chilling. We want our underwater kingdom. Just quit fucking up the ocean. I'd be like, all right, bet. If you leave us alone, bye. Like later, dude.
Okay,
Peace out.
you and I would, but not society.
Like, well, no, society would kind of have to. That you would hope. Otherwise, you're going to war and like we'd have to go fight them in the depths of the ocean. We would die. We would get eradicated.
Nah, dude, we just like tell them some sad shit. They start crying and they would drown.
No, get out of here. If deep sea fish people, they feel no emotions.
Probably facts, big facts.
So I don't know, man. I would not be fucking. I'm not trying to go to war. With some deep sea mermaid people.
Well, what? Yeah, yeah, like that Triton that her dad had.
Yeah, like a big old trident, like Poseidon. He's like Poseidon ends up being real. I'd be like, oh fuck, that's scary as shit. Like he would just drown everybody. There'd be a giant octopus and shit would be on his side, and he'd be like, I talk to them. Like, nah, bro. Like I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. I'd be like, cool.
I could flip Ursula, dude. I'd start hitting it, and by hitting it, I mean having sex with Ursula,
Well, that'd
and
be
then
weird.
and then I'd talk her into turning on like the mermaids.
Yeah, but I mean, Ursula is only so powerful. Like, there's got to be, she's not the baddest. She doesn't got the most power.
But like once she has my cock inside of her,
Jesus Christ. Good Lord.
the power of the dick, dude. All right, y'all.
I gave you a clap for that one. I just gave you a clap because that was.
I gave her the clap.
Jesus Christ. All right, continue. I walked into that one.
You did.
All right.
Y'all, episode 59, therapy question number 2. Will it be ruled as suicide or murder if you hired someone to kill you?
I mean, it'd have to be suicide. That person could be charged with murder, potentially, or aiding and abetting in a murder or, like, manslaughter. But if you had, like, an assassin, you paid him. Hey, bro, like, you need to assassinate me. That's, like, suicide. You know it's coming, right? That'd be a suicide.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Open shut case. Black lock. It's a black matlock.
Well, there's, like, the term, like, suicide by police for people, like, put themselves in a situation for cops to kill them. But I still don't think... Do they call that actual suicide, like on the record?
We call it suicide by cop. I've seen it 100 times. But yeah, there's people who do that, who create some situation or make a point to run at cops, so it's like the cops are forced to defend themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they for life insurance purposes classified as a suicide.
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah. So you get your benefits, you get your bennies.
I guess.
Not a financial advisor.
No, I mean, yeah, but I've had this thing. If I was like stupid rich, like mega rich, I would pay somebody. There'd be like a 3 or 4 months out of the year would be like almost like Great Escape or some shit, where I would pay some dude to like try to track my ass down, and I would go like run around the world and try to escape some dude. He couldn't kill me. I wouldn't want him to kill me. That's stupid. But if I could, I would like, because if you have everything.
Isn't that like, what's that book where they hunt humans? I was gonna say The Deadliest Catch, but no, that's like
the Deadliest Game. The Deadliest Game. Yeah, but there's like serial killers who did that too, who like would capture people. There's this guy in Alaska and would like send them off into the woods and then like chase them down. So not like that. I would basically pay some dude, be like, look, I'm a bajillionaire. I'm gonna give you like $100K. And you could do whatever you want, and then 3 months out of the year, yeah, I'd pay him. You'd have to retain him. I need this bounty hunter tracker guy on retainer.
To what? Like, what is this, like a high stakes game of tag?
Yeah, it's like a high stakes game. And if he catches me, he gets an extra $100,000. Do you think I don't know. I'm like stupid rich. I'm like Bezos rich or something. Why not?
Why would I want that?
That's something I would do. I'm not saying you need to do that. That's something I'd do. You could YouTube it and be like Mr. Beast.
Dude, I don't even know. I can't believe you even thought about that. Like,
Well, because you see those shows.
where
There's
did
like
that?
there used to be.
Were you on mushrooms with Rolls Royce?
No,
When you
there
thought
was
about
old.
that?
There's a show. There's a couple shows. There's this one show where they used to like chase people around the globe, and it was like, oh, can you catch them? They'd give them money, and if they used a card, they would like pop up. So it was like, you know, trying to use the cash they had, use the card, and try to like duck and dodge and make it to their final destination. And then there was Man Tracker, obviously one of the best shows of all time, which is like that Canadian guy who used to track people through the woods on a horse. He would lasso the fuck out of people. If you've never seen it, you need to look it up. It's called Man Tracker, and it's the best shit ever. It's that dude, and then like a local guide, so someone who's like a park ranger, and they take these people have to go like 20 miles or something, and they have like 2 days, 3 days to get there, and they have to traverse through all these different terrains. They have a map, they have a couple supplies, and they have to make it to this finish line. If they win, they get like 50 grand or something like that. But this dude, this crazy motherfucker, chases him down on a horse and like tracks these motherfuckers down and lassos the shit out of people. It's absolutely epic. It's called Man Tracker. You have to watch it.
Shout out, Man Tracker.
No, it's not.
Why is it not They Tractor? Why is it got to be Man? Anyways, if I would do what you were saying, if it was like they had to pay me if they couldn't catch me, and then I would pay them if they did. Like this whole like I'm paying you to come find me, and then if you find me, I pay you more. Sounds dumb.
Some like Gatsby shit or something. I don't know. It'd be fun because at that point, I'm saying I have so much money that it was like, what's in it for this person to do it in the first place?
Well, what if it was two rich dudes, and you're like, yeah, who's gonna find?
Well, then
me?
yeah, then it'd be a different stakes game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd be more into that.
Okay.
And then we would obviously have to have intercourse
At the end,
if
at
I
the
was
finish
found.
line, if you were found, you'd pay the price. You know the deal. Come on, Bezos. Take off your pants.
He's like too late.
Nat Hackett. Nat Hackett doesn't fuck around. God damn it.
No, he does not.
Mmm.
In the Mile High. All right, y'all. Therapy question number 3. What are your opinions on the question of selling organs and financial compensation for organ donors? 2-part.
I mean, are you an organ donor?
I mean, according to my license, yeah.
Okay. What is that?
I mean, I haven't donated any organs.
Yeah, ditto. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, there's always those horror stories of like, oh, they want to get you for your organs, but it's like the same. I feel like it's the same shit as what people say about a lot of stuff when it comes to that.
Well, like, you know, like you can sell your sperm, or you used to be able to at least. You could sell your plasma.
Yeah, I had a roommate who sold plasma.
Why couldn't you sell a kidney?
For weed. Sold plasma for weed all the time. It was awesome. Why couldn't you what?
Sell a kidney.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I think you give kidneys in like good faith. I don't think they like. I don't think like. But here you go. Here's my kidney. I don't know.
What if you were like, hey, I will give up my kidney, but you have to pay me for it? Is that terrible?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think you could do that. I think that'd have to be like off the books, though.
Right.
I got a kidney to sell, but you could like donate a testicle and you get like a shit ton of money. At least back in the day, it was like $100 grand for a ball.
Really?
Yeah, something like that. Like, and they'd give you a prosthetic to replace the one that you lost to science. Yeah,
I would do that right now.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oh, it's to science.
Well, they're doing something with the balls. I don't know what they're doing, but you give your ball away.
Are you giving your ball to somebody who's lacking a ball?
I think so. It might be like ball to ball.
Big baller.
Yeah, I think it's ball to ball. It could be. I'm not sure. I'm not going to speak for the industry. No, that was a thing. I remember that because I had a friend who was looking into it. It was like I might. No, it was a shit ton of money that I was like, damn. Like I remembered that. Like all that for a nut. Like okay. And it was in Colorado. And then when I was living in Colorado, I was like, maybe. But there's got to be a shelf life. Like, you know, I think in 5 years they're like, look, old man, get your ball out of here. We don't want it. I don't know if they want, you know.
I mean,
maybe though.
I ball like Lance Armstrong on the bong, baby.
I wonder
Ooh.
how many guys don't know about being able to donate a ball to science for money. Because I bet you there might be a lot of guys with in better financial situations, and they would if they knew they could give up a ball for it.
You mean
Yeah, if you're like down and out and like, look, man, I could just give up a nut, start
what?
this food
Yeah.
truck business. I'm
Why do I
taking
need?
off. Yeah,
Why do
right.
I need to? Why do I need to?
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't need to. That's one thing
No,
they tell you back in the day. Like, well, you really don't need to.
it's weighing me down,
Yeah,
literally.
just do roids, be like Lance Armstrong, take over the world,
Hell yeah.
and then confess to Oprah later.
Only after I get the bag.
That's totally gonna be my confession. It will be to Oprah at some point.
No, your confession to Oprah is I don't think that you're a good person because that's what you think.
I think you're a fake good person.
That's what Joseph thinks, y'all.
Boom.
Jesus Christ, it's America's first lady. Besides Joe Biden, Dr. Joe Biden.
Okay.
All right. Therapy question and final therapy question. Therapy question number 4. Is there any benefit to implementing a maximum income?
So like capping what people can make as individuals, I don't necessarily think so. I think you're like at that point stifling growth in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I agree. Like putting a hard cap on what somebody could make is dumb, but you like as the United States did like in the 1950s, we had a 90% tax on income for the highest earners in the country,
Yeah.
and so that to me that makes sense as a percentage. So there is no cap on how much you can make. So if you made $1 trillion, we'll take 90%, but you're still up 100 billion or whatever. If I'm doing the math correctly on that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that implementing a maximum income would be stupid, but implementing some sort of like minimum tax for these rich fucks is much
Yeah, I mean, which we were supposedly we already do. We have a progressive
yeah,
tax
okay.
rate, but
Oh.
it, yeah, but it doesn't really work out like that.
Yeah, I had and there was some boomer that was arguing with me about how like trickle down economics worked. I was like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Reagan had it figured out." I was like, "No, no. What are you talking about?" Like
That's
that.
so funny. We have a literally real time scenario with our girl Liz Truss, the new prime minister out in the UK. I'm up in my bougie financial advising office today.
Yeah,
This guy named Monty, dressed in a suit with a handkerchief and a bottle of champagne, walks in. It's 11 a.m. in the lobby, and he happens to be from the UK. And we're both like, I was waiting for the receptionist to come back to ask her something, and he's waiting. And on our screens is CNBC. It's got like the markets, and I'm like, just to like make small talk, I'm like, oh, markets are up today. And then in his British accent was like, he's like, oh, we'll see how long that lasts. So anyways, we start talking, and the Prime Minister Liz Truss, she's been in office for like maybe 2-3 weeks, and she's implemented trickle down economics, supply chain economics, if is the proper term, but it tax cuts for the rich and all rising tide lifts all boats. And immediately after she did that, the pound hit an all-time low versus the dollar, and their stock market lost like 20% in 2 days. She's been in office for less than a month. The queen died, and like people are like, "Who? This idiot needs to go."
yeah.
Like she destroyed. It's like, and it's like, and they're dealing with inflation at 10% right now, so it's way worse than the United States.
Everyone's got inflation right now.
No, I know, but it's theirs is even worse than ours.
No, I know, and people
And
are just like, it's just America.
But cutting taxes, like on a huge scale for the rich, is an inflationary policy. Like you're not like that's not helping anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
No, the whole illusion of I just don't. Yeah, I mean, so implementing a maximum income, and that would fuck with like the free market. There'd be less innovation. People would become complacent. I think that the job force and like the market and what people would want to do they'd really start to half-ass it. So I think that'd definitely be a bad thing just for inspiration for the people. I don't think they'd be down for that.
Right. Like, I mean, a lot of these rich fucks, like they'll use the argument that a higher tax rate makes them less ambitious to make money.
Get the
However,
fuck out of
yeah,
here.
but no, that's what they'll say, and it doesn't
Yeah.
make any fucking sense. It's like, oh, okay, like, so if you make more money, you're still making more money, you
Yeah.
idiot. But if you maximize the actual amount that they're allowed to keep, that actually is true. That it would de-incentivize people from going after crazy shit.
Yeah.
But the percentage on it won't stop anybody. It's like you're still gonna go make money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I know, but these fucking rich
We're
people.
taxing you, the rich fucks.
All right.
It's not an article, but did you see? Well, I just wanted to chit chat. It was on the Newswire. Two things. I don't have articles for him, but first of all, Herschel Walker supposedly had some girl in like 2009 or 2010. He got some random girl pregnant, and then forced her to not carry the baby, and then paid her off the books to make it go away, which is crazy. And North Korea supposedly shot a missile today. Did you see that?
They've been shooting missiles, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, like there was this big lockdown. I don't know. It was like in the past maybe hour and a half or so, 2 hours.
I didn't see that, but I did see a couple things for both of those topics. One, that in May of 2021, the National Archives asked Trump for the Kim Jong Un letter that he wrote
Yeah.
back, and Trump didn't give it to them.
You know he has that shit. You know,
I know.
he kept
Well,
it.
that was like the first thing that we were saying that he like stole.
The love
And
letters from Un.
right, and they asked over like it was like literally almost a year and a half ago. They asked for it back, and he fucking and that 15 of the boxes of those documents he packed himself. He's never packed a box in his life, but he decided that he's gonna pack these ones specifically.
Yeah, I
Fuck
told
outta
you
here.
there's a crazy video of him like loading up boxes onto an airplane, like his private jet that's flying to Jersey.
It's like the most labor he's done on his own in his entire life. But then also, I was going to tell you, and dark alert, Herschel Walker is now in a statistical tie with Federer. Or
Warnock.
no. Okay, I as I was saying that, I realized no, it's not. It's not Herschel Walker. It's JD Vance,
Oh, dude, JD Vance
who's
is
just
wild.
as crazy. Just as crazy.
Yeah, but
He doesn't do any interviews. He rolls around with a quote prophet, and then they like make people do like Nazi symbols, like or like hand signals, like in his
yeah, we
like,
talked
rallies.
about it. A couple, yeah, the
Right.
finger in the sky, that QAnon shit, man.
Now he's in a statistical tie with the Democratic nominee Fetterman, who's my boy. But so
Yeah, no, that shit's. There's some pretty weird motherfuckers. Yeah, JD Vance is wild. Yeah, he's been saying all sorts of crazy shit, and we're getting kind of owned. But so half of these guys don't even want to do debates anymore. I mean, and then Herschel Walker said, "Oh, I'll do a debate, but I'm gonna lose because I'm not as smart." Oh, braids in the background, shirtless. Hey, hey. Brady appearance with the cheers.
it's been a while,
Yeah, I know, man. The braids in the house.
you know,
Um,
for the ladies.
yeah, no, these motherfuckers are wild and doing crazy shit. And that's wild that they'd be in a tie. Marjorie Taylor Greene's probably gonna win her re-election, maybe. Now she's getting divorced supposedly, and there's all that weird shit, which is whatever, not my business. But
No, her husband filed for divorce.
yeah, her husband filed for divorce, but she cheated on him a bunch supposedly, like fucked some weird like yoga guru or
Why'd you
something
look
like
at
that.
me when you said that?
What do you mean? I have you double. I have you like next to me and in front of me. It's tripping me out.
You said she cheated on her husband, and you looked at me directly.
Oh well, I mean everybody knows that you probably at least tried to holler at Marjorie Taylor Greene at one point. No one doubts that.
You know how crazy she be?
Dude, get out of here. That's awful.
I just make sure she brought her AR-15 into the sack.
You know she would. There was this whole ad where she's hog hunting and she's shooting hogs from a helicopter with this AR-15. She's like, "Oh, vote for me and enter to win a hog hunting contest with me, and you get to fly around in a helicopter. You should enter that."
I got a hog for her.
Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
She
Disgusting.
wants to go hunting around like the world and find me. Like she's chasing you if you're rich.
Get out of here. All right, you ready to get into these articles?
Yes.
All right, so the first one, we are going to be talking about the good old debate that happened the other day. It was Greg Abbott and Beto O'Rourke. This is the Fort Worth Star Telegram, OG, saying, will this have impact on the race? I think I most recently saw that they're in a almost statistical tie right now, Abbott and Beto, but I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sure Abbott has at least a 6 or 7 point lead because it's fucking Texas. But you said you watched this entire debate, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think about it? Especially when you grew up here. You don't live here anymore, but I mean, you know, it's pretty wild to watch Beto and him go at it. They're just like such opposing views, and I feel like Beto did such a good job of answering questions like in totality, as where Abbott just kind of jumped around the subject and he kept talking about Joe Biden and the Joe Biden's administration and how they don't do anything and the CRT agenda. I was like, what the fuck, dude? He was just like riffing, dude. It was like he was freestyling, but only had like 4 or 5 words he could rhyme with.
Yeah, no, it was weird because they like were really like overly strict on like you get 60 seconds or 30 seconds or 15 seconds to respond, and the bell would ring, and neither of them were like trying to go like over that time limit, like, but they just were trying to finish a sentence, and then like the moderators would like try to cut them off, and it was like, okay, relax, like nobody's talking over anybody, like just let them like actually like say what they have to say. But you're right, like Greg Abbott was just he just wouldn't he would either just avoid the question and just like come up with some like culture war shit or like
Yeah, it
some
was.
conspiracy shit, and then like Beto was just he like would bring up like like facts, and then Abbott would just like lie and say that's not true, and then he's like, no, that is true, and this is how it's true.
Yeah, I mean, and what's really been frustrating is whenever they talk about the border, they're like, oh, this shit down at the border. I mean, I call bullshit, man. They don't give a fuck about this stuff down at the border. If Because it's been going on for so long and they've been just kicking this can down the road. They don't pay anybody to really work down at the border. A big, like, do you want to move to Brownsville, Texas? And like for like 30-40 grand a year, like I wouldn't want to do that. Like, yeah, there's no real incentivization for people to go down and take those jobs. And a lot of those same people that complain and donate large chunks of money to super PACs also employ people and don't want to pay people $15 an hour, don't want to pay people like livable wages to go out and pick fruit or go do some of these jobs that exist down in like in Texas or in Arizona. Some of these jobs, they don't want to pay anybody to do it, so they'll employ people that are illegal, but then they also will fight against paying them a livable wage. It's really interesting because then they're like, it's not in any of the like the citrus industry to like, if they have to start paying people $15 an hour, they would say that they'd be down to do that. But if you got them all in private and behind closed doors, they wouldn't want to pay what it
Well,
would
yeah, I
cost.
mean, well, that's how you would stop illegal immigration, would be raise the pay to $15 an hour, and then other people who already live here would take those jobs, and but they don't want to stop it because they want the cheap labor.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
there's also this program that Beto brought up where Texas state like taxpayers funded $12 billion to this program to stop illegal immigration, and it's the worst now it's ever been. Worst, quote unquote, it's the most it's ever been.
Yeah.
And and like Beto kept on saying, he's been in office for 8 years. Like, why? Like,
Yeah,
he's like, this is his fucking fault. Like, at what point does he have to take like responsibility?
yeah, what point is like, is it his bullshit that he needs to step up to the plate and be accountable for? And it wasn't just that. They talked about how well, I mean, I'll pull up some of the clips, but yeah, they said that he performed well. It's about a 7 point margin by the Quinnipiac polling says it's about 7 points. I mean, they got into it about Plan B, and like his response was like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, Greg Abbott is such an idiot. You'll be glad to know I stepped up my game on the Twitter, bro. and now I've got everything down in like folders, so it makes it real easy. All right, where is it? So here's one where they're talking about sending migrants to states. We don't have to listen to like the whole clip.
Being bused from Texas to other states.
For the audio, you won't be able to hear it. Or maybe you will, actually.
About that
Not
just last
today.
week.
And when we reached out to Governor Abbott and stated, can we coordinate? Can we identify, who's traveling here, that we don't have to guess this? They refused
Recording
to do so.
in progress.
The White House has called this a political stunt. Governor Abbott, is this a political stunt? And has there been
Idiota.
states and cities these migrants are being taken to? And if not, why not? You have 60 seconds.
But I love you.
This operation began after a meeting with local officials, sheriffs, mayors, police chiefs, and county judges, where they were overrun with the number of migrants that Border Patrol had dumped into their tiny little communities. They needed relief, and busing was one of the ways of providing them relief, and thus began the process of busing the migrants to cities that self-identified as sanctuary cities. Mayor Adams has never called
Dude,
out,
and that whole
never called
busing
anybody,
people the fuck out
in my
to
administration.
sanctuary cities. That's so cornball, dude. Like, oh, they said they needed help, so we just put them in buses and sent them to someone else.
Well, one of his points, Abbott's, which doesn't pass the smell test, is he said the mayor of El Paso has been busing immigrants as well, and more so than the state of Texas. Okay, maybe true. However, the mayor of El Paso, the Democratic mayor, is calling the cities ahead of time and arranging accommodations and not lying to these people where they're going or what's going to happen when they get there. Whereas Governor Greg Abbott of Texas and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida are purposefully not telling the authorities of where they're sending these people, so that it is a shit show. So it's like they're not like hey, like
Well, they're trying to catch people off guard and be like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Oh no!"
Exactly.
This is just what it's like for us. Martha's Vineyard population of 20,000 people. Exactly. We're gonna send, and they've even said like we should send 300,000 migrants to Martha's Vineyard. You're like, what? They wouldn't even fit. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And this is so they were talking about abortions, and they were talking about a woman's right to choose, and for victims of the R word or incest or anything like that. And they were talking to Greg Abbott, and that's one thing that so if you watch this debate, it was mind blowing. People are like, well, Beto didn't do anything to wow anyone. I'm like, he was actually fucking answering questions, he was actually answering questions, or Greg Abbott was just saying the most nonsensical bullshit. Sorry, I fucking hate him.
Our governor out here in California, Gavin Newsom, I like a lot, but if I didn't have Gavin Newsom, I would be very comfortable with Beto O'Rourke being my governor.
Yeah, Beto's
because he's going to do the right thing, and he's a smart guy.
And now let's also be honest. He's also said some dumb shit for being in Texas. I'm going to take your AR-15s and AK-47s, and we don't care. When he was running on a national platform for president, so that's like a weird thing when you're running for governor in Texas. To take a hard line that big is like, we're going to come and take your guns. You're feeding into like the bullshit from like the Alex Jones or somebody, like you're giving them ammunition, so you can't say goofy shit like
literally
that. Yeah, you can't say goofy shit like that, or they're gonna jump all over it and be like, see, I told you the prophecies are true. I watched Ancient Aliens and ate a whole lot of Miracle Whip, and when I passed out, I dreamed, man. I dreamed about Donald Trump being elected for president for life, and Mike Lindell for treasurer. Like that's like you're feeding into that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a failed Senate campaign. He's had a failed presidential campaign, so he might not be the best politician as far as like in these campaigns, because he lost to Ted Cruz.
Yeah, but Ted Cruz sucks. But Ted Cruz is also like old establishment though. Like it's like in Texas, schmucks like Ted Cruz get elected, or Dan Crenshaw, or any of those motherfuckers they all get elected. It's Texas.
I've been always surprised that Texas feels comfortable with Ted Cruz. Like I understand that they are going to vote, for the person with the R next to their name. Yeah, but why Ted Cruz? Like they
always say like you can't.
Is he even from Texas? Like he doesn't seem like a Texan.
Hey man, don't start any birtherism, dude. But no,
I mean, I heard Ted Cruz's dad killed.
Get out of here! Stop
JFK.
it! Shut up! Get out of here! No,
That's a presidential quote.
I like the one that he was the Zodiac. That's a pretty funny one. Those are pretty funny.
But Ted Cruz is from
creepy.
Canada.
But they're all about who's gonna give him the biggest break, who's gonna take it the easiest on him. So that's really what it comes down to. So they're all in on that. They don't give a fuck. So and that's why they'll say, like, you can't ever, they tell people don't vote just blue, don't vote straight Democrat, man. But I guarantee you they all vote just straight Republican right down the center.
I know. I can't believe that there's not another Republican Texan that's a better candidate than Ted Cruz.
Or Greg Abbott or Ken Paxton, who is the attorney general and left the state to avoid being subpoenaed in a federal grand jury investigation. Like, he left the state. He fled the state where he's attorney general. He's on the verge of being disbarred. We talked about him a while ago where he doesn't let his staff, he could speak at bar association events. He's like barred people from going to bar events. The people who pass out the certificate of you being a lawyer. He's like, don't talk to him.
I mean, when Al Franken was the senator of Minnesota, he goes, I don't like Ted Cruz. And I like him more than every other senator in the Senate likes Ted Cruz. Like, he's like everybody hates him.
I believe it. He's very hateable. All right, well, this is a clip. Greg Abbott is asked, is Plan B really an alternate to abortion for someone who is pregnant from a product of the R word or incest? His word, and then it's, tagged, the word vomit is just the chef's kiss. It's about 42 seconds.
I'll give you 30 seconds to answer this one. I still want to know, is Plan B the alternative when it comes to somebody who is pregnant from rape or incest?
Fucking idiot, dude.
Well, it depends on what you mean by alternative. An alternative, obviously, is to do what we can to assist and aid the victim, and that is to help get them medical assistance that they need and the care that they need, but also to know what their options are. They're going to know that the state, through our alternatives to abortion
so much
program,
too,
provides living assistance, baby supplies, all kinds of things that can help them. Also, we've increased funding for prenatal and postpartum care.
Thank you, Governor.
See, and I call bullshit when he talks about prenatal and postpartum care and this increased funding. Like a lot of the places in Texas that offer that to the public, especially to like the disenfranchised or low income, are places like Planned Parenthood, where they're actively trying to like shut the fuck down and like run out like it's a sundown town. They don't give. They're like, that's complete and total garbage. Right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And then in like the stimulus that was given out during the pandemic for the child relief or the
child tax credit or whatever.
Yeah, they got rid of the Republicans. So it's like, you guys care so much about these kids that you don't want them to be, aborted. But then as soon as they come out the womb, like, it's like, fuck them.
Yeah, well, that's that old joke. Yeah, they care about, like, it's a George Carlin joke too.
Yeah.
Like, they care about them, and then when they're born, they don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, they'll take money away from the schools. They'll take money away from, like childcare. They'll take money away from, like the EBT program. Like, they don't give a shit.
No, they don't give two fucks, dude. But I mean, for him to be, it's mind blowing. He's sending, like, Greg Abbott just represents so many things that are bad. People are like, well, he's tough on immigration. It's like, no, like Beto has such a good point. No, that's bullshit. Like, he's been in office for 8 years and hasn't done shit and has just been blaming other people the entire time. The entire time. The wall was stupid. And someone told me this is extreme. And I've thought about making it a therapy question. But, like, how would you go about solving the crisis at the border when they talk about the crisis at the border?
I mean, I don't agree that there's a crisis at the border. First of all, I don't agree with that premise.
Okay.
And I just would make the path for people to get like a work permit much faster. I would have like places for these people to live, if they're asylum seekers, like from Venezuela or, like Nicaragua or, where the shit's popping off in South America.
Yeah.
I would like definitely have like, like better facilities, better jobs. Like, it's like people want to hire these people.
Families from Uvalde.
So why don't we just streamline it and then not criminalize it? Like
Yeah.
and you guys are talking about like, not you, but like just like the right, about how, China's got all these people and like, we're not having as many like, our population is not growing as much. It's like, how our population grows and our economy grows is immigrants.
Yeah. I mean, I I've always said that someone told me they're like you should just build a big hill. Well, I was like trying to confiscate people's land and build a massive wall next to a large body of water is a stupid idea. That's a really bad idea. You're going to spend more money trying to build a wall and maintain it than like what you're going to get out of it. That's a waste of money. But I think if you modernize the border, incentivize people to go down there, and yeah, the number one is make it easier for people to come here. There's people who will be here on a work visa for 3 or 4 years and apply, have a good job, college degree, got their degree here, and like it's almost impossible for them to stay. Like
Yeah, that's the dumbest part is like we have people from all over the world coming into like our universities because we have the best ones in the world, and then they get their doctorate, and then we just tell them to leave and go back home. It's like instead of like using people that we educated in that talent, but then also you end the drug war, and
well, yeah, I mean that's yeah.
you probably end a lot of the fucking violence and like poverty, like in Central and South America, and then they don't have to like feel like they have to leave their houses. It's not like they just want to come over here. It's
yeah,
like
but I mean, when you're talking about doing some of that in some places of like Mexico or South America, you'd be like doing coups in like local governments and stuff. Because some of them, like, because Mexico's got its own set of issues, and just like if they really wanted to address the cartel issues, they would do. I mean, that's easy for me to say, and I don't mean it to sound ignorant, but I think they would put more of an effort into doing it. But we always find out someone's got their hand in somebody's pocket, or somebody's paying somebody, or
no,
like
what I'm saying is we legalize drugs in America, and the cartels don't have this monopoly on drug like production. It's like they don't. It's not like they're smuggling weed over to California
yeah,
anymore.
but I think yeah, but
because we grow it in California.
yeah, but I do still think there'd be something. That's what I'm saying is like you're gonna legalize like fentanyl to make that just legal. Like no,
not fentanyl, but like
because that's like
fentanyl alternatives.
Yeah, I mean that's it's like a.
I mean, it's not going well right now. It's not going well right now.
Sweden that has it that way, where like all drugs are decriminalized in certain amounts.
Yeah, I mean, how could it go worse?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the cartels are just gonna like disappear and go give it up that easy.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't have a choice. It's called capitalism, bitch.
You're gonna push them out via capitalism.
Yeah, it's like
it's the most American way to take them out. We took them out America style.
Yeah, you're priced out, and I thought everybody in the right liked made in America, so make the drugs in America.
Okay, big facts. Yeah, but it needs to be easier for people to get here. For some people, the cheapest and quickest way to come here is illegal, and and they're not all bad people, so that's also very ignorant. There's people who are coming here for opportunities. A lot of people that send people that are here legally, like they'll work their asses off here and they send a bunch of their money home because they have family and they take care of their kids, all sorts of stuff. It's
not all bad people. Most of them aren't.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like whenever Trump's like, oh, they're sending people, then they're not their best. It's like, that's bullshit. It's people who want opportunity and are working their asses off constantly. And our capitalistic society is exploiting these people, and we just like disregard them and act like they're not supposed to be here. So what? Like they're not going to say anything because they're here illegally? Like, get the fuck out of here. If they want to be here, let them be here. Give them a path to be here that's clear, concise, that incentivizes them to come here.
And they're paying into like Social Security and Medicare, but they don't get to have any of the benefits because they're not legal citizens. And that's I don't know.
See, I've always thought what you should do is you should have some sort of program with job placement and like housing where you would like, there's like, what are your skills, and you find a job based off of the skills that person has, and then they go work for a company and get job placement, help with housing, and then they would basically be on like a temporary work visa, but they could move, they could bring their family, and you would have to pay them at least $15 an hour, but the government could help subsidize that by giving tax breaks to these companies who, the more people they hire through the job placement programs, the bigger tax break they get. So the more people they employ that are trying to come here and find opportunity, and they pay them that 15, the government can subsidize the difference and like incentivize them to do that. I think that'd be like a really cool program, something like that.
Yeah, but the federal minimum wage is still $7.70.
No, obviously you would have to like come up with something, but that's where it's like, hey, you could incentivize these companies like Tropicana or somebody who, you know, who does like borderline like sharecropping, be like, hey, like stop with the bullshit, like, you know, pay them this, pay them like 15, we'll give you, you know, and we'll help find you people, so it'll be easier for you to hire, you can bring people in, and then like we'll subsidize that, we'll give you more tax breaks, because we're going to tax you more now, but if you want to pay less in taxes, you need to do more in XYZ, you know, like a quid pro quo, you do this, I do that for you. Because I think if we're going to have these corporations play ball on a big scale when it comes to something like raising minimum wage to something that's livable no matter where you are, like $15 an hour at the federal level, or shit, even making it like 12 or 13 bucks an hour.
No, 30.
Well, I'm just saying, even to get we're not even talking 15, just getting them to raise it at all would be, it's going to be a battle, and it's going to have to be some you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Otherwise, they're not going to want to do it. They're going to fight against it constantly.
Well, their backs are already getting scratched by the illegal immigrants.
No, well, I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And massaged.
So the government is going to have to come up with something and set the tone for that, and then be like, hey, look, so we're doing this, but this is what you can do on the back end if you want some of that tax back that we're taking from you. You know, help us with this new program for job placement. I think that'd be huge to create great opportunity, and you could help grow industry in other parts of the country where maybe there's not a lot of growth, you know, or you're trying to revitalize a city. You could send more people there, you know, oh, we need to redo, you know, actually fix some of this water issues in Mississippi or in like Michigan. Okay, like, well, you know, you can add more people to those crews to do that work and incentivize those companies to take those contracts, bid on those government contracts to fix that shit, and help subsidize the employees they'll bring on to do the projects. It's a win-win for those people, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I was rambling. I've just thought about that. I think it's a good idea. You good? What's going on?
Well, I took the Rams.
Oh, I'm not even watching it.
It's in the background, but I took them heavy in the under.
Yeah.
And it appeared that the Niners went up like 26-9. And then I just stopped paying attention, and I just looked up, and it was only 17-9. So I think they caught the touchdown back.
Well, okay.
So I'm back in, baby.
You're back in the game.
All right. Next article.
Next article. Sorry, I got to bring it up. I have so many boxes. Supreme Court is blowing up law school 2. I don't know why you'd want to be a judge right now or anything that has to do with law in the first place. Anyways, right now it'd be shitty. Did you read this? What were your thoughts on this article? I skim read it. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of shit. I was busy, and I picked it. I know I'm terrible.
So it was saying that the Supreme Court has just been going off like overruling Roe v. Wade in the Dobbs decision is what they call it, and then now they're going after teachers for like the it's like Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh are going after them for the they're not, okay, first of all, they haven't even read the opinion. They just came out with an opinion against them.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, it's hard to put you on the spot like that, but no, like, the way that they've been
kind of like how you didn't read this article. They didn't read the decision.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, I skim read it, but I was like super fucking busy. But no, like the way that they've been going and the personal biases that have been taking place on the Supreme Court is going to disincentivize anybody to go try to take that route. It seems so biased and seems so fucking goofy, right? That like they're overturning precedent law. I was trying to explain to someone, they were like, well, that's a law that, you know, it's like that law's existed since before we were alive. So like so to say that like there's people who've been waiting in the shadows to change this shit, and now all these personal agendas. I mean, now you've got Ginny Thomas testifying to the January 6th committee, Amy Coney Barrett never really like doing a real case on trial and being absolutely kind of bonkers on some Handmaid's Tale shit.
Okay, so this is the problem on this article. Is they're going after law school or law students have to take the bar exam, and the bar exam has Roe v. Wade in there like heavily about like the precedent that it set, and how like, and then you have to like use that precedent and like explain why that matters like in law, like
Yeah.
with this, yeah. And so now it's like people are taking the bar, and the bar hasn't like updated itself to where that Roe v. Wade got overturned, and so everybody's just like,
What the fuck do we do?
they're writing arguments like trying to pass their bar that don't apply to the actual test, because everything that they thought that was true for the last 50 years is gone.
Yeah. But since the 1950s, illegal economy. Yeah, I mean, but they've been, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that have been wanting to overturn this shit. So when someone was calling Mitch McConnell a rhino, I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Like, Mitch McConnell will take that because he's, like, served his purpose. Like, he was like, I gotta get a conservative, like, fill the conservatives, like, all the slots with conservatives on the Supreme Court. That was, like, his whole mission in life, essentially. And he succeeded. So he's kind of, like, done, can go off into the distance, doesn't really give a fuck. You know, is going to speak out against Trump or say whatever the fuck he wants because he just doesn't necessarily agree because he served his purpose in, like, the timeline. His part's done.
For the audience, rhino means Republican in name only, because we know he's not an actual rhinoceros. He's a turtle.
Yeah, it's true. He's definitely a turtle without the shell. Or someone called, what's his name? John McCain a rhino. I was like, bro, no. Yeah. Like, how could you? That's so not true. You can't say that. He's like, that's like the last bastion of the Republican Party is technically John McCain. It got really weird after that.
I mean, it's always been really weird to me.
Always, but it got really fucking weird. Because remember, John McCain was doing that one town hall, and that woman was like, Barack Obama's a Muslim. And he was like, hey, chill out, bro. He's like, don't say that shit. And like, check that old lady.
What a low bar.
Hey, man, now Trump would be like, definitely. He definitely is.
He's a Muslim socialist.
Everyone knows Hawaii is the Muslim.
Kenyan. It's like, which one is it?
Kenya. Hawaii is a Kenyan island. Everyone's talking about it. It's on new maps. MapQuest shows it. No. But whenever you hear that stuff, it just gets me super annoyed. And yeah, they're changing a lot of stuff. There's people who graduated and took the bar and this was on it, and now they're having to completely redo everything, completely relearn law. They're like totally fucked up. Yeah, 2 L's and 3 L's.
Yep. Good job, Supreme Court.
Just like if they ban CRT, then they'll have to rethink it all again too.
That's actually what I thought this was going before I read the article, was that because it was Supreme Court is blowing up law school too, and the only place that they even teach CRT is in law school.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what this was going to be, and I'm like, oh, great.
But I'm sure they will. There's so many things that they want to.
They can't. They have no jurisdiction.
You can't teach that. Well, maybe. You never know, man. They try.
Law in graduate law school? Are you fucking kidding?
Never know, man. All right, next article. Elon Musk's robot army. Dude, did that shit freaked me the fuck out. I'm not cool with this shit, dude. How do you feel about Elon's robots?
Dude, you already know. How many times do I have to say it? I'm the George Washington for the humans in the robot army, and I'm going to lead us to victory.
Dude, no thank you on this. I'd fight this. You need, I'd fight these robots in a robot war.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like, Elon's don't scare me. You know they're gonna be super smart. The ones that scare me are those Boston Electronics ones. Those ones are freaky. That like do backflips and jump 15 feet in the air, or have those dog things that you can't knock over. Those are like some Splinter Cell things. Those fuck me up. But this one's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty creepy.
Well, MIT, you're talking about, makes those robots, right?
Which one? Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones who came up with the fucking Roomba. So you ask me why I don't like Roombas? Well, guess what a Roomba led to? The the robots that scare the shit out of you.
All right, big facts. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those, man. I mean, do you think that there's a use for an everyday at home AI robot for people?
If it doesn't have no, it doesn't have to be like that, dude. We
Is
don't
that
have.
is that the future, Schultz?
It,
Are we?
it's like saying that you're like dependent on like Alexa like at your house.
Hey, some people might be, man.
Okay, but that doesn't mean they need it.
Well, I'm saying, do you see a future where an AI robot is in every household? Everybody's got an AI robot.
No,
No.
we'll take them out before then. Mark my words, Optimus. That's what he decided to call this robot. So, oh, sick. Well, how,
Oh, tight, dude.
What an original name.
This is Optimus, and this is the Doge, the robot dog. Idiot.
Optimus lame.
Yeah, what a chode. So what's gonna fuck me up if they start making them look like people? That's when it's like we have to take a stand. So right now, it's like in this one that he's showing is obviously a robot. They're like, oh, okay, that's a robot. But if it starts getting like super humanistic looking, some Blade Runner shit, I'm out. Like we got to kill them. Like we got to kill all of them. Because then we could lose them. Like they could, blend in with us at some Westworld. No, there's nope.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. Kill
them all.
Yeah, kill them all. The moment that happens, they're done.
Yeah, let God give them haircuts.
Yeah, they can't. Hair doesn't grow, bro. If they make a robot that's hairs grow, like I'm gonna be like, nah, bro, get the fuck out of here. Nope.
Dude, I saw like a Just for Men commercial where you just use shampoo and it just gradually turns your hair like dark from gray, like over like a couple weeks span. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works.
Yeah.
Obviously, not a scientist.
Yeah, I'm not a scientist advisor.
Exactly.
I'm not a scientist advisor.
Well, no, I am advising scientists to back the fuck up off the robots.
Yeah, bro. Like that's like a lot. Like I said, it looks super robot and it walks like a bitch. So like I'm not that scared of it. This robot, like if this is what you're coming with, like get the fuck out of here because this robot walks like a fucking bitch. But
so did Neanderthals, and we saw what happened to them. They got murked.
Yeah, this thing's all like kind of bow-legged, got some goofy ass legs. So I feel like I could kick this thing over, but 3 or 4 of them, I don't know, dude. They walk slow, but if they shove like a fast model, they come out with one that can sprint, I'm out. Show me it doing some like running at 35 miles an hour sprint, like I'm out, dude. Like
I feel like you could trip one of those really quickly.
Yeah, but maybe not, dude, because they'd be able to like sense shit. That's the whole thing. Is they'd have some sensors and they'd know like, oh, he's gonna trip me, and they'd like.
You'd have your homeboy like on one side with like a laser pointer, and then like you on the other side. He's like, the sensor, and then the robot
does not
one way, and then you just trip it going 35, and it's done. And then you sell its parts for money.
That's some like District 9 shit or whatever, District 10. Nah,
District 69.
Yeah, District 69. But now, because obviously it's gonna happen. It'll probably be like sex robots to take over the world because they'd make them and they'd look super realistic and they'd move and talk, and some weird creepy dudes would start banging these robots, and then
Japan listens to the podcast and they're like, yeah, bro, we already have them.
Yeah, but but not to this level. Not to this level.
I don't know, dude.
I'm waiting. In like 10 years, Elon Musk is gonna, mark my words, Elon Musk will have some sex robot in like 10 years.
Oh, he's fucking a robot already.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely fucking a robot already. He's just trying to like make fucking a robot like a household pastime.
Well, it's like he has 15 kids, so in his best interest to fuck a robot.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta stop. It's too many kids. It's too many kids.
I have to wean myself.
Yeah,
off.
if I don't stop, I don't know if I have enough Tesla money. I'm gonna have to send the kids back to the mines. Back to the mines.
I have to wean my wiener off.
Jesus. He's probably got some VR headset. Yeah, dude, he's into some weird shit. He's doing it.
Oh yeah.
So did you see the new the article that I added?
The Barinka?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I added it. I had the other ones, and then I added this one by The Guardian.
Oh, yeah. I did. No, I saw this. I didn't actually see this article, but I saw on the news. I was like up late, and like this was happening in real time.
Dude, this shit's crazy. And
we'll explain what it is.
So right now in Barinka, right now in Africa.
Barinka Faso, which I like. I had to like. I'm like, is that a country? Because I've never really had heard of it.
Yeah, well, there's been coups happening all over
Burkina
Africa.
Faso, sorry.
Yeah, there's been coups happening all over Africa in the past like 3 or 4 years, like a shit ton. So there was a military coup that happened. This was like, what is this? This is from Monday the 3rd. I watched, there was a Twitter feed of there's a video clip I'll pull up in a second of them like taking over a news station. So this 34-year-old army captain took over of Barinka Faso on Friday over
Burkina. I was saying it wrong.
Burkina Faso on Friday, overthrowing Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandango Damimba, who was accused of failing to effectively counter the rising violence by Islamic extremists in the unstable and poverty-stricken country, and most of it's done by Russian agitators. Just so.
But I mean, when you're saying like these guys rolled up in the news station, I saw that too. That's what you do in a coup. There's 3 rules in a coup: you arrest the current leader, you take over the media, and then you take over the military.
Yeah, well, these guys are in the military, so like it was a military.
Right, they already had the military. They took the leader, and then you take over all the media outlets.
Yeah, they believe that the guy Traore is likely to invite assistance from Moscow to boost it. So basically, they're having Islamic extremists out there, or what they're deeming as Islamic extremists, and they're seeking help from Russia to try to quell this, and using that as an excuse to overthrow the government, to literally took over the country like via the fucking Friday night news. Hold on, I'm gonna pull that shit up. Over the weekend, hundreds of some protesters waving Russian flags, starting fires. I mean, and that's where I have this tweet where it talks about how many coups
forced 2 million people to flee their homes.
Yeah. So today, this was last Friday. There was the Burkina Faso coup.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. The coup on Friday. Then on February 1st, there was a failed Guinea-Bissau coup. Then there was another Burkina Faso coup on January 24th of this year. A coup in Sudan. Then there was a failed coup in Sudan in September. There was a coup in Guinea. There was a coup in Mali. There was a coup in Chad convert coup in April 20th of 2021. So
yeah, I mean, this is Africa. This is how they roll, dude.
Yeah, but that's like a heavy increase. And there's a video of it here where this guy's literally just taking over and saying like, I'm now the president. Fuck all you guys. All these guys are super decked out. It's just like.
But this is what's happening. Because like Russia's like you're saying involved.
Yeah.
So the Wagner group, Wagner, if you're American, Wagner.
Wagner.
Yeah, but it's a like a bunch of like fucking dudes who are contracted by Putin but don't technically work for the army. They're like a bunch of mercenaries. They've been going into Africa and helping these dictators with their army, but at the same time taking all of their fucking minerals, like their gold, their diamonds, like whatever it is. And like, so basically these dictators like want like the Wagner group to protect it, but the Wagner group is also in Ukraine. In the very beginning of the war, they were trying to assassinate Zelensky, the president of Ukraine.
Yeah,
that was their mission, and they realized, well, we can't get that done because we're a bunch of incompetent fucks. Like, but they like torture people and kill indiscriminately, and then this is just another. It's both China and Russia realize like that Africa is just underdeveloped and they have minerals, and so they're like, oh, this is the last like frontier if we want to like swoop in the United States. We don't have a huge presence there, like because there was a bunch of like was like when we were like
it's kind of like, hands off with Africa for us, like that doesn't look
well
good.
the UK and France, like like there was just all these colonies in Africa that the Western like countries were involved in for a long time, and so we've slowly but surely got out of there, and now it's like this like vacuum for China and Russia to move in.
Well, yeah, and that's also our fault. Like the Western world has a PR problem when it comes to like Africa and like the way that they've treated and exploited their people or their natural resources throughout all of history. So it's like try to be real hands off, try to be philanthropic in the things that we do over there, but you know, like they're more trusting of like say Russia or China and coming in and being like, we'll give you billions of dollars and give you guys electricity. Like they're way more comfortable with that coming from them.
But it's just the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. No, it is. It's like they're okey doking them, but they're you know they have a bad history with us. So you know I'm not surprised that. And also like yeah, like you said, they have like the lithium mines. They have a lot of gold. They have a lot of natural resources that the rest of the developed world is like scraped from everywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's
a lot of stuff that goes like in like cell phones and like semiconductors and stuff like that.
The shit that I'm using right here behind me. And there's so much of this stuff for my computer that like I wouldn't have. That's where, you know, Mexico has a lot of lithium mines and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean, the exploitations out there's crazy, and you see they're just, you know, backing somebody, giving them guns and all the force in the world and being like, all right, go. That's honestly in Mexico, that's how some of these cartels have started, is like defunct military groups that break off and take all of their stuff with them and start their own little armies and, you know, start running drugs and doing all sorts of stuff. And that's kind of what you see in Africa, only they're like getting backing from these outside governments to take over and overthrow these governments for the exploitation purposes. Like, we'll give you power, but you got to give us XYZ. So they definitely like are going to lose in the long run. They just, you know, they don't realize it, and they're promised power, money, and control. And, you know, they think that you know, they find the person who thinks that they're right and is going to go along with whatever. So it's really sad. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, I agree.
They're just, you know, overthrown. It's been going on, like I said, like crazy. I think we named off what, like 8? There's been 8 coups. Oh, more than that one, too.
Way more than that.
8. So if you include this one, 8. 2 of them were failed, and then they tried again like a month later. So there was like a coup on September 5th in Guinea, and then there was they tried to have another coup February 1st. There was another coup where somebody tried to overthrow the government that overthrew the government.
But if you throw in Sudan and Somalia in there, it's a coup every day.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. That's just the wildest timeline. That within a calendar year of each other, less than a calendar year of each other, they're trying to overthrow the government that overthrew the government.
Well, at least Donald Trump didn't try to commit a coup in the United States. Oh wait, that's right, he did.
Yeah.
In 2021.
You can't see it, but I'm playing this clip of this guy standing in the hurricane taking a huge dab. I was gonna play it, but there's no sound. But it's like Florida's insane. There's some like that's. You know, shout out Florida. If you guys are out there, like, be careful. Check on your people. I said that on the sports podcast, but that flooding was super bad. That was a really bad hurricane.
Yeah, they said it might be the largest disaster in Florida's history, which is insane because Florida gets hit with hurricanes every goddamn year.
And Florida, you know, has their hands full of you know, voting against extra aid relief for people, and then asking for a bunch of aid. And that's where it's like, you know, you don't keep it from them, obviously, but it's just ironic that they voted against expanding aid for natural disasters, and then in turn are like, they have the worst disaster ever and they need money. It's like,
and Biden gave it to them immediately.
Rick Scott and Rubio. Well, Rubio just didn't show up to vote. Rick Scott voted no, and I think DeSantis voted no.
But that's the thing. Like, we were talking about Mississippi being like the largest recipient of federal money. It's all these red states get, you know, it's like profit sharing from the blue states. So like California gives, you know, is at a net deficit from the money that we contribute to the federal government and what we get back. But if you just go down the list of red states, they're all takers of federal money, but they all vote against it, like their own interests. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. All right, well, so that's it for articles. We're gonna do the clip of the week. Do you watch this ad? I thought it was absolutely hilarious. This is Senator Kennedy of Louisiana, John Kennedy.
Not a Democratic candidate.
Yeah, not a Democratic candidate. Senator John Kennedy. He's an old Colonel Sanders looking bitch ass motherfucker, and he decided
he's a doctor.
Yeah, that's what kind of doctor?
I don't know, but he was thinking about convicting Trump in the second impeachment trial, but just couldn't bring himself to it.
Well, he has this ad, and there's people that have talked about. I guess his opponent's been talking about defunding the police, or made some comments about defunding the police. So he's started this TV ad where it talks about people who are in need of help or need his help, what they should do if they vote against defunding the police. It's absolutely incredible. All right, so I'm gonna play this clip real quick.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Local leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy.
Call a crackhead. Bruh, what'd you think of this ad? Are you digging it? Is this like your thing?
Definitely not. Definitely not my thing.
That's such like a hyperbolic thing to say. Why not like a pillhead? Why not like, why do the guy be crackheads? Next time you need help and you're in trouble, call a crackhead. That's some old white guy shit, man.
No, that's a dog whistle for black people, dude.
Oh yeah, in Louisiana.
Because white people do fentanyl, black people historically.
What are you trying to say, dude?
No, it was like they like in the 80s, like you try to make it seem like black people were like doing crack, and it's like, okay, well your white counterpart is blowing lines, like it's the exact same drug,
Yeah,
like,
mandatory minimums. That's how they got people.
Exactly.
Because it was like it was bullshit.
But now they're like they can't make like the opioid crisis it's a crisis. Our people are in trouble, whereas the crack epidemic was like a crime problem. The opioid crisis is white people overdosing, got to get them like help, and so he can't use opioids because that's his constituents. That's his base. That's his fucking base.
Yeah, he's running against this guy Gary Chambers Jr., black guy, and that's what I'm saying, man. They're like incentivizing, like, I mean, it's been interesting. Like, this is the one thing that I've hoped would come out of it, is that some of these crazy fucks would inspire people to go out and try to make a difference and stop these crazy motherfuckers from taking over. But it's pretty crazy. What was that sound?
That was my dog, but she's asleep.
Oh,
she's like dreaming.
Oh, puppy dreams. Aww. That's adorable. That's super cute. I heard that.
Yeah, she
fighting squirrels, bro.
She got stung by a bee on Friday, and her whole face swelled up. And I had to take her to the vet, and she had to get a Benadryl shot and a steroid shot.
Yeah. Next
day, Saturday, all of a sudden her entire body starts breaking down these bumps, and it was like hives. And I had to take her to another vet Saturday night, and it turned out that they gave her like a super low dosage of Benadryl, when apparently it's supposed to be like 1 milligram per pound.
Yeah.
And she's 65 pounds, and they're having me give her 25 milligrams. And so then she got another steroid shot in her ass. And but so far so good.
Well, that's good. Shout out to the pup. That's really sad. Stung by a bee, no fun. And dogs, yeah, they swell up like big time when that happens. Well, I'm glad she's recovering and having little cute puppy dreams. Well, I told you Topanga killed a skunk not too long ago, but no longer smells like that. But she's been pretty good. She's been chilling. She's been laying low.
That's just what you tell your neighbors. It's like, I'm not smoking weed. It's Topanga killed a skunk. It's her.
No, my neighbors like hate Topanga for some reason. They think she's mean.
Because you blame her for smelling like a skunk when it's you just like hitting the bong.
No, dude, she definitely killed a skunk. We had to double bag it to get the city to take that shit because they just wouldn't. They were like, no, fuck that. Like, it was in the trash. And they left it. They left it in the trash can.
I had to drop little Wada, the doggy, having the puppy dreams, off at my parents' house today because I had to go in the office. And I come back and my mom's like, there's this cat in our garage and it's been there since Friday and I thought it left, but it hasn't left. I gave it milk. I'm like, Mom, you don't give it milk because then it's going to want to stay.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't want to go in there and have it jump on me. I was like, that's like the opposite of what a cat would do.
Yeah, the cat's gonna rub up against you and be like, "Yo, bitch, give me more milk. Let's go."
Or like, don't even look at me, you
Yeah,
human.
yeah, get away from me. I'll let you know when I want milk. Now it's not milk time, so get the fuck out of here. Yeah,
Now it is milk time because it
Yeah.
wasn't even milk; it was half and half. It was like luxurious milk.
giving cat half and half. Get out of here. What
That's what
type
she
of
said.
shit is that? Bougie as fuck, dude. The cat's gonna leave that garage like 15 pounds heavier, dude, drinking fucking froth, just
And
pure
my-
cream.
My dad, who is recovering from a stroke, has a hard time finding the words he wants to say, but he goes to my mom. Hopefully she's not pregnant. And I was like, that would actually make sense if the cat's
Big
like
facts.
finding like a safe place to have its kids. Like, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna have kitties. Hell yeah.
That's totally possible, man. That's fucking wild.
I know. My dad was on point.
Dude, half and half? What? Yeah, that cat's never leaving, dude.
No.
I thought you were going to say she sicked the dog on it to try to chase it out of the garage.
No.
I was like, good Lord, where is this story going?
Her dog needs to get on its job.
Yeah, seriously, that cat's just chilling hard, man, living fat in
Hard.
there. Drinking
Squatting rights.
Yeah, mad squatting rights, getting half and half. That cat's so entitled now.
Probably like vanilla flavored.
Yeah, seriously, some coffee mates or some bullshit, dude. Hazelnut.
Almond milk.
Yeah, hazelnut and catnip.
Right. I mean, what a life.
Yeah, seriously. Well, number 59 in the bag. You remember Greg Abbott sucks. Fuck Brett Favre for stealing money from poor people. Fuck Elon Musk and his robot army. Who else? Fuck Joey Bag of Donuts. What else? Who else fuck? You give me somebody else to say fuck you to.
Well, these text messages are coming out for Elon now that he's like in the preliminary parts of this court hearing for Twitter.
Yeah.
And he's like texting Joey Bag of Donuts and asking him for like advice. So it's our nemesis are uniting, dude.
They are.
This is gonna be like Marvel versus.
Well, I'm not really. I wouldn't say Joey Bag of Donuts is my rival.
He's your nemesis.
My nemesis. I don't know if he's my nemesis. I've
Dude,
had a
we're
nemesis.
going into the cage match, tag team, and
You
you're
never
my
said
partner.
tag team. You
Well, I
never
just said
said
right
tag
now.
team.
I just did right now.
All right, you heard it here first.
Or,
All right.
or like I'm the Undertaker, and you're like, remember his like manager that would come out like all creepy with him.
All right, then I'll do it. All right, you just said
Have
it
to.
here. You just said it here first, so I guess I'm doing it. I'm in the cage match tag team. Is it Shoots and Ladders?
I'll wait for Joey to tag in Elon, and then I'll tag you in, so you can just pound that doughboy.
Yeah, just whip his ass.
That's right.
Well, yeah, well, fuck all those guys. And no, we appreciate y'all tuning in, listening. Another one in the bag. A lot of fun, man. We got 60. Fuck
Episode 60 next week.
And
we
then
gotta do something special.
We will have to. We should get some guests on. And then
Yeah.
we'll do, and then we got Angry Black Quarterback, episode 5. It will be Wednesday. So Mr. Schultz will be on there. So make sure you check in, listen to the bets, and listen to the bullshit. We really, like I said, we really appreciate subscribe, follow, whatever the fuck. Leave a review on iTunes or some crap. I don't know if you can do that. But no, we really appreciate it, you guys. So just stay safe, be good. And as always, please, please, please go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stopped.
I can't believe I didn't hit record. You know what it is? It's when you tell me to hit mute. So then, I just I lose the. It's like now I'm waiting for you to tell me when to unmute, and then instead of me thinking, okay, we're about to start hit record. That's that was both times that I forgot. But yeah. I can also do that, so I'm gonna do that to get the whole thing. Because I have a YouTube to MP3 converter. But if yours sounds better, then we can do that. Like mine's gonna take